What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Tuesday night Q&A hangout where a tornado touched down. A touchdown tornadoed near Arrowhead Stadium today. Pretty crazy. I had my whole family in the office with me down here in the basement for a little over an hour as the sirens were going off. It's actually the first time since moving here to Lee Summit, to this house in particular, in 2020 that we actually had to go down into the basement as a family during a siren. And it was fine. I don't think there was anything major that happened in this area or even where the tornado touched down from what I understand. But this was the tornado. You can kind of see it here. You can see the funnel. This was over here near Arrowhead Stadium. Basically, all the porta potties in the area of Arrowhead Stadium got knocked over. I think a couple semis got knocked over on the highway. Other than that, unless you guys have seen something I haven't, that was the extent of the damage. Obviously, when it comes to tornadoes, it could always be way worse. The storm, for context, was about 10 miles north of where my family was. We got hit with rain and some other stuff, a little bit of wind, but nothing serious at all. So we did avoid the storm that happened today, and it could have been a lot worse, even just for the area of where the tornado did touch down. So we're very grateful that it wasn't worse, because if you saw my new channel on Better Day News, dropped a video, the first video last week, and we talked about a couple other more serious tornadoes and some miraculous moments that happened in spite of travesty. But they could always be worse. So I'm grateful that they're not. Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We have, I almost said Q&A. We have OTAs. They were today for the Chiefs, but also tomorrow, a media look tomorrow. Andy Reid and select Chiefs personnel is going to be speaking with the media. What does that mean? Probably assistant coaches or the coordinators. So maybe you hear from Nagy and Spags and Tobe, or you're going to hear from some of the assistant guys like the wide receiver coach, or maybe Joe Blameyer, pass game coordinator. And then on defense, like you could hear from D-line coach Joe Cullen or Dave Merritt, DB coach. We'll see who you actually end up hearing from, but you'll get a media look at practice and Andy Reid and some of the assistant coaches that I'm super excited about, super pumped about, just because it's the off season. There's not a lot going on when it comes to media and news and updates other than OTAs. So you have 3 more practices of OTAs this week, 4 more next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then mandatory mini camp June 17th through the 19th, I believe it is. And that's where the vets and all the rookies are going to get together. I mean, a lot of them are together right now during phase 3 of OTAs, but it's voluntary. So you're still having some guys not show up, but for mandatory mini camp, obviously that is mandatory, required, or you could get fined if you don't show up. The only person that I'm curious about is Trey Smith. Will he show up? He wasn't at the media look last week. It's voluntary. It doesn't necessarily matter. If he's not at the media look tomorrow, and maybe also not at the media look next week, as he's in negotiations with the team while he's on the franchise tag he's hoping for a long-term contract before the mid-July deadline. That's the one person that I'm looking for, wondering if there could be a bit of a holdout. We'll see. Because if they're close on a contract, he's just going to want to get that thing done before he shows up. Now, other people under contract will show up anyway, so we'll just see what happens. I'm not going to read too much into it either way, but he's probably the only person that I'm like, okay, is he going to show up? We'll find out. I also have some good news, at least for me and the channel, and for those of you who do enjoy, but Underdog is back for another season. 3rd year with Underdog, so I threw the little logo on the mic in honor and celebration of that. They're back for a 3rd year. And again, you want to be responsible. You would never place any kind of a sports bet on a pick'em or anything like that if you're not comfortable with losing it. I basically use coffee money and have fun with that. But they're back for another year, and we'll be doing some HBTC drafts again. $5 draft, $10 draft, $20 draft, or $25. And they're season-long drafts. You don't have to do any of the substitutions or anything like that. And it's always a lot of fun. We do it every year with the community. And then obviously we'll be back with the pick'ems all season long. We'll do the projections and have a lot of fun with that. But with that being said, that's enough rambling. I want to see how you guys are doing, and hopefully everybody stayed safe throughout the storms and everything is good. Flip with the 32 months said, "What's up, Cole? What's up, Flip? Hope everyone's safe. Have you seen this video yet from the NFL? Hilarious about Coach Reid." I have not, but I think I saw it. Yeah, I have not seen that yet. But it's a 21-minute video on Andy Reid. Who is Andy Reid? Obviously, I'm not going to watch it because we'll get flagged on this live stream for doing that, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to see it, though. It dropped 4 hours ago. Reaps with the 23 months. Thank you, Flip, for the 32, and Reaps with the 23 on the Let's Freaking Go tier. Hope everybody's doing absolutely fantastic. Where's Eric Bieniemy now? He is the running backs coach for the Chicago Bears. He's over there with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams and those guys over there. I also want to say whoever won stuff on the members only live stream, I'm getting to those emails this week. It normally takes about 5 to 7 days for me to process through those and get the stuff sent out. So please be patient with me, but I appreciate you. About time with the 23 months anniversary time. Come give me some sugar. What the? I don't know about all that about time, but dude, thanks so much for the 23 months. Let's go. What are the drafts for? You're talking about the underdog drafts? They're just season-long drafts with underdog where you can just kind of pool in a little bit of money. The winner takes it. I won a couple last year. Editor Troy might have won another. Some of y'all probably won a different one. Lil Cam with the 3 months. What's up, man? Do you plan on covering the Battlehawks if they make it to the championship game, spring Super Bowl? I know you've covered them before. They're one game away. Not going to lie to you. Had no idea that they were. I did stream during one game for fun last offseason, but no, probably not going to do that. Although, I'm going to wish them the best. Man. Any updates on Norman Lott? Jonathan, last I checked, Omar Norman Lott was the only draft pick for the Chiefs that hasn't yet signed his rookie deal. But he's been at OTAs, he's been participating, and he's been practicing. So it's not like he's holding out. He's not doing I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's the Bengals first-round draft pick. He's holding out right now, wanting some adjustments in his contract in regards to, I believe, guarantees. Some of you in the chat might know his name. It's just escaping me right now. But Omar Norman Lott's doing no such thing. He's participating. He's practicing. He hasn't signed yet. The holdup with that is there was a couple players, second-round picks, that for the first time in NFL history got fully guaranteed contracts that were second-round picks. So that's just kind of throwing off, I think, some of the negotiations. I bet you all the second-round draft picks agents are trying to get more guarantees for their players. I don't think Omar Norman Lott's getting a fully guaranteed contract or anything like that, but that's probably the holdup on his contract negotiations at this point in time. Yeah, it's Stewart. Is it Shamar Stewart? That sounds right. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's Shamar Stewart, their first round defensive lineman. Yeah, this guy, he has been holding out. Well, it's weird. He's like holding in. Yeah, this guy, he's been holding in. He's at practices. I think he's in the meetings, but during the actual drills, he's just watching. Kyle with the 5 bomb. Let's go, man. I'm happy that May is finally in the trash. Good riddance. Heck yeah, man. A new month. It's time. What was your experience during the Joplin E5 tornado in 2011? So I was traveling internationally during that time, but Joplin is probably an hour and a half to 2 hours from where I lived at the time. But yeah, I mean, Joplin was completely, not the whole town, but a good chunk of it, I mean, just completely obliterated. It was pretty tragic. And one of the biggest tornadoes in a long time to hit the Kansas City, Missouri area. It's not even Kansas City, Missouri. It's outside of that, but it was one of the closest, most scary, catastrophic tornadoes that have hit the area in quite some time. So yeah, that was an awful one for sure. Hope everyone stays safe out there. Heck yeah, Roomby. You never know with the tornadoes. Is Shamar Stewart like a high upside guy? He didn't do too much in college. Off the top of my head, just from what I studied on him, I just can't recall. Because what I wasn't really looking up a ton was first round defensive ends. I was looking more at the DTs. But yeah, I mean, the reality is the Bengals need a lot of defensive help. So they went defense heavy in the draft because that's what you need. You signed Jamar, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow's already there. You're not needing a lot more over there as far as firepower for Burrow. So you've got to go heavy on defense, especially because they were just awful last year on the defensive side of the ball and lost a couple players too. Glad to see a few Chiefs fans concerned like I am. Concerned about what? What are we concerned about? Cole failed math last semester in high school, so I have to go to summer school to make up the credit. Oh, you failed math. I thought you were telling me that I failed math last semester of high school. Well, hey, you know what? Just go get the credit. It's all good. Go study. Get it done. Doesn't matter if you graduate a little late. I don't even care if people get their GED. I have several family members who did that. It literally doesn't matter. The school system is interesting. We'll just put it that way. It's really setting people up to go work a 9-to-5 corporate job. It doesn't, again, unless the school system has changed, and I've been out of school for a while now, but it didn't really encourage creatives, entrepreneurs to go carve their own lane. So it has a place. Obviously, you need to learn to read, write, basic math, arithmetic, like some of that. But outside of that, just do what you have to do to pass. And if you're going to go to a career that requires a degree, doctor, lawyer, you need to go to nursing school, like firefighter, whatever you need to go to school for to do your job, go do it. But if you don't need it, man, go on YouTube. Go apply yourself. I learned photography, videography, how to mix music, all kinds of stuff just on YouTube for free over the years. All right, I digress about school. I'm not anti-school, but I'm just more, hey, foster an environment that caters to students' strengths and let them explore some of their strengths. Teach them the basics, but then let them kind of explore and teach them business. Teach them how to be financially secure, not even just secure, just making sound financial decisions. Don't go into massive debt unless you have to. Like just some of the basic stuff. I didn't learn any of that in school. Nothing. Anything special about Magdalena? Well, he was former teammates with Nico Remigio. Let me look him up because we've talked about him in a couple videos before, and I have some notes on him. Magdalena. I don't want to misspeak because it's been a minute here, so give me a second. Magdalena. Is this Magdalena? Yeah, he's okay. So Magdalena, he played on the outside, but he's 5'9", 180 pounds. He did run a 4.4 140, but he would really need to be an inside guy, I think, at his size. Very reliable hands, though. Caught several deep passes that were extremely impressive grabs. Had a breakout year in 2024. He caught 64 passes for 1,000 yards, and 8 of those for touchdowns. Led the team in receiving, and was formerly teammates with Nico Remigio. But again, what's going to happen there? I think if I had to pick something for Magdalena right now at this point in time, he's potentially a practice squad guy for the Chiefs because I don't see how he cracks the squad when you probably have 6, maybe 7 wide receivers that make the roster, and you already have Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Jalen Royals, and probably Juju Smith-Schuster. You can get out of his contract because it's like a vetman deal, but they really like him, and I don't see any reason to move on from Juju, so that's 5. Nico Remigio is probably 6 at this point in time as your team's returner. Who else? I mean, Elijah Badger could be fighting for a spot, but it's going to be an uphill, hard-fought battle for several guys at that 6 or 7 spot. And Sky Moore's in the mix, Justin Ross. I think Sky Moore would be a good practice squad guy for the Chiefs this year if he cleared waivers. Thornton, yeah. Tyquan Thornton is another guy. Thanks, Darren. Yeah, he's definitely in the mix too. And kind of when it comes to those guys, can one of those guys edge out Nico or Mihio as the team's returner? Because that's probably what you're going to have to do to find a spot, unless injuries hit during training camp. That could very well happen. I don't like injuries, but training camp injuries could happen, and that kind of moves people up the pecking order. Yeah, Sky Moore is still on the roster. Yes. You dropped out of school and later did your GED, haven't needed it. I won't even say who. I had somebody I knew that dropped out of high school and just wrote on all their job applications that they had a GED, and nobody ever asked them for it ever. I don't necessarily advise that route, but I don't think it was ever asked. Again, get your GED if you can. Just do it. I would definitely advise that, because if you're ever asked, you just want it. You just want it. Is HBTC still going to continue? Is HBTC still going to continue? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. I started that Better Day News channel, but that's just like a side passion project. We're going to drop just like one video a week on there. We have Cole Breaks a Huddle, and then we have HBTC. Now, we dropped like a Cole Breaks a Huddle video today, but that's because there's really nothing to talk about with the Chiefs right now. We dropped the Chiefs video yesterday. We'll drop a Chiefs video tomorrow, and then if schedules align, I'm going to be interviewing Brandon Perna on Friday of That's Good Sports to talk about the state of the AFC West. So HBTC is very much still continuing. We're just probably rocking for the most part with 3 videos a week on this channel during the off season. But yeah, I mean, we're just about to hit the drought and we've slowed down a little bit, but it's not because I have plans of stopping the channel or anything crazy like that. Heck no. No, this is the passion. This is the priority for me, for sure. You just got done watching the CBTH vid? Oh, let's go. Heck yeah. Have you tried to get other Chiefs players on your channel? I have, Lenny. I mean, I've reached out to a few different guys, but it's kind of hard because I'm just a YouTuber. So we've had Nazi on the channel a couple times. We had former Chiefs tight end Jason Dunn on the channel recently, and that was about it. What's up, Jason? How are you? You have a pornography addiction? Dude, Brandon Perna's awesome, man. So we're going to have him on the channel on Friday, and I'm excited about that. If you ever get back into making music, you should collab with Crypt or Mac Lethal. Dude, both of them, dogs. Mac Lethal, he's a big Chiefs fan. He's the homie. Yeah, I haven't made music in like 6 years now. Time flies. Daryl, with the 24 months. Let me back up, actually. FLDB with the 32 months. 32 months sailing with the Chiefs Kingdom. Mahomes, be the captain, and we ain't abandoning ship now. Raise the red sails. Let's freaking go. FLDB, he on the pirate kick right now. Let's go, bro. Thanks for the 32 months. Daryl with the 24. Is it me, or is our defense going to look better than last year? I mean, I think so, Daryl. I agree with the premise of that idea because you beefed up the cornerback room. You went and got Christian Fulton. You drafted Noel Williams. Jaylen Watson's coming back healthy. You have Trent McDuffie. That's a much better cornerback room already. Problem was last year you traded away L'Jarius Sneed, and then Jaylen Watson broke his ankle week 2, week 3. I can't remember which week exactly. It was pretty early. Pacheco, Rice, maybe Jaylen Watson was a little bit later, but Pacheco, Rice, Hollywood, and then Jaylen Watson, they were all out by like week 4 or week 5 of the regular season. But yeah, the beefed up cornerback room should allow, in theory, Trent McDuffie to kick back inside to the slot whenever he needs to. That's going to just help overall with the coverage and the inside as well. The safety room is a question mark, yes, because you lost Justin Reid. So hopefully Jaden Hicks takes a big step up. That's what I think they believe he can do and what they're hoping for. And just better coverage from the cornerback room is going to help the D-line. The D-line didn't really change that much from 2023 to 2024, but almost all of their stats went down across the board. It's partially because, yeah, pressure was coming, but that quarterback knew, oh, Trent McDuffie's over here, I'm going to throw it that way. Oh, on this play, Trent McDuffie's over there, I'm throwing it that way. And it worked quite a bit. Or you abuse the middle of the field with Chamari Connor in the slot, and then Nick Bolton is just, that's not his strength as a coverage linebacker. Drew Tranquil also took a bit of a step back last year. I think I mean, for sure compared to the year prior, but the coaching staff, I think, was hoping for a step up from him, and he kind of regressed a little bit. Not like hugely, but he was not as good last year as he was the year prior. So that, combined with the injuries, it definitely affected the defense, even though they were top 5, top 10 in a lot of categories. It's a long-winded answer, Daryl, but I do think the defense should be much better this year, hopefully looking closer to their form from 2 years ago when L'Jarius Sneed had that career season. Jennifer, thanks so much for the 5 gifted. The mod holding it down. Stream in and stream out. Video in and video out. Appreciate you. Terry with the gifted as well. Let's go. Let's go. What's your take on the rumors that Jaylen Watson is possibly going to be traded? I have not seen any of those rumors at all, but I'm just trying to process through that in real time. Yeah, I think I agree with you. It'd be dumb. I don't see any reason why to see how the cornerback room looked last year and then say, we're going to trade away Jaylen Watson. And if injuries hit the room, be in the same position that we were last year. Now, if there's a potential rumor or a trade scenario thrown about by some beat reporter or by a guy who writes articles for whatever, some website, the thought could be maybe it was surprise trade candidates based on players who are maybe on the last year of their deal. The argument there would just be you can get something out of Jaylen Watson instead of letting him walk in free agency because he's outplayed his 7th round draft stock. I understand, but to trade him would be pretty ignorant in my opinion because he's probably cornerback 2, maybe cornerback 3 if Christian Fulton for some reason is just the guy that they give the nod to. But either way, Jaylen Watson, Christian Fulton, Trent McDuffie, in theory, are getting the most reps in the cornerback room of anybody. I think it would be pretty foolish to see how the cornerback room suffered last year, to take a potential step back in the safety room after letting Justin Reid walk, and then being okay with one injury hitting the cornerback room, Jaylen Watson being gone, and then going through it all over again this year. No, thank you. I would much rather that not be the case for 2025. Judy with the 9 months. Since you mentioned Nazi, Mitch Holtis mentioned him on the franchise this week, predicted a breakout season for him based on OTAs. Let's go. Really? Okay. I like that. Yeah, Nazi's awesome, man. He's been on the channel a couple times. Obviously, ups and downs. Had the season coming back off that ACL injury and was kind of thrown into the fire because Jaylen Watson broke his ankle and they traded away Sneed. And you're just asking a lot of guys who I just don't know if they were fully ready. I mean, it's just a lot to ask for these guys, whether it was whoever, Roland Wallace at times, Josh Williams, Nazi, anybody out there at that time when Watson went down and Sneed was traded. If they weren't Trent McDuffie, they were getting picked on by the opposing team week in and week out. Will you release any new merch soon? Yeah, for this season, we'll definitely drop some new merch. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. James asks, what draft pick are you most excited for? Long-term, probably Josh Simmons, just to have that franchise tackle, hopefully recovering from that knee injury for years to come for Patrick Mahomes on a rookie deal. So that's a long-term who I'm most excited about. Short-term, out of everybody, Omar Norman Lott, Ashton Gelati, Noel Williams. I'm trying to think, Bashard Smith is intriguing, Jalen Royals, Jeffrey Bossa. But if I just had to pick one for this year, I'm trying to think. I mean, Jalen Royals, in theory, should see some snaps out there on offense. They need an outside guy running around. Even if he's just doing wind sprints to open up the middle of the field by running down the field. Justin Watson's gone. He's gone. He's with the Texans. So you kind of need a guy to stretch the field sometimes. Obviously, they don't have MVS either. Who's that guy? Worthy, I guess, but you really want him involved. Yeah, he's going to be taking some routes down the field for sure, and Mahomes should target him down the field because he's earned that. But I like the idea of Royals. I mean, Omar Norman Lott would be a guy that I hope contributes this year. He's going to be a rotational guy, but you really need somebody besides Chris Jones to kind of do their thing. Turk Wharton had a great year last year, got a big old contract with the Panthers, well-deserved. So I'm going to go with Omar Norman Lott, maybe Jalen Royals this year. I mean, Bashard Smith, like, he might see a little bit of time. That's just a tough running back room to crack. But somebody said on a live stream or in a video that Bashard Smith could be the Chiefs' James Cook. And if you don't know the context of that, it actually could be a pretty good comparison, because James Cook for the Buffalo Bills, he obviously had a fantastic season last year, but he was not really used in pass protection like at all. He had less pass pro reps than Saquon, Derrick Henry, all of the primary guys that had some of the top rushing yards in the NFL last year. James Cook by far had the least amount of pass protection snaps. I'm saying that to say Bashard Smith, converted receiver, played running back last year in college and had a great year, but he's a guy that you put out there and he's probably not initially doing a lot of pass protection, but he still could be an effective role player in the Chiefs offense. The question is, can he do enough to kind of move up the pecking order in the sense of you got Pacheco, you have Kareem Hunt. Those are probably your two primaries. We'll see about Elijah Mitchell. Who's your third down back? That's a good question. I don't know who your third down back is. If you're looking for a guy in pass pro and able to catch passes out of the backfield like McKinnon, I don't know if that guy is actually on the roster unless they're hoping for that from Elijah Mitchell. Remember last year it was Pirine. He was your third down back. Bashard Smith, maybe. But again, lack of pass pro experience is a bit of a concern there. With that being said, I don't think he's going to necessarily have an insane year like James Cook was tied for first or second in the NFL with rushing touchdowns last year. And Josh Allen is the quarterback for the team he was on, and Josh Allen has a lot of rushing touchdowns. So I don't think I expect that much from Bashard Smith, like at first. But I am excited of the idea of how he could be used in the Chiefs offense. Cole looking like Justin Tucker just maybe be doing shenanigans? What? Why do you say I look like Justin Tucker? What are we talking about? Did you see the tornado that went near your town today? I did. Yeah, I shared it earlier on the stream. Kamala said Justin Watson was the Ben Neiman of wide receivers. He ran a lot of wind sprints, but at times made a play here or there. So Neiman made a play here or there, but got a lot of snaps on defense. Royals is a wide receiver. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking in chat for sure. All the sportscasters hemming and hawing, pretty much discounting the Chiefs. It's really hard to just look at the Chiefs. I know I'm biased because I'm a Chiefs fan and that's the team that I primarily look at, but we run a second channel, Cole Breaks the Huddle, and look at NFL wide stuff quite a bit. I mean, the Chiefs were a Super Bowl team. They made it to the Super Bowl in spite of all the injuries that they had. Pacheco, Jaylen Watson, Minihue came back but wasn't quite right. That's another guy in that defense that should be looking better too. He should be looking more true to who he knows he can be. Rice went down, was never returned. Hollywood went down, came back at the end. They kind of used him in the offense, but not really. I mean, just Pacheco, so many injuries in the revolving door at left tackle. All that BS. Joe Thuney kicking out to left tackle, Mike Caliendo at left guard, average to subpar play at times. The run game was stifled. You had no explosiveness in the pass game or the run game. Mahomes was seeing ghosts. It was a combination of all kinds of just awful stuff. They still made it to the Super Bowl. They beat the Bills again in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl. It's hard for me to just look at the team and see the moves that they made. They brought a lot of people back, but they fixed some of the issues that they had last year, which in theory would be left tackle. That should be addressed, and the cornerback room should be better. As long as they stay healthy, I don't see why they're not one of the favorites to make it back to the Super Bowl. How can they not? I'm not saying they should be favored to win it. I mean, they just got their kicked by the Eagles not that long ago, but they should be one of the favorites in the AFC to make it back to the Super Bowl. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only rookie under Reid to make an impact from the get-go has been Kareem Hunt. An impact from the get-go. Yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt had an incredible rookie year, a little bit different style offense there because that was also Mahomes' rookie year. Alex Smith was at the helm. But I mean, Rashee Rice had an impact his rookie year. It just kind of took to the back half of the season to get there. Worthy, same thing. Back half of the season, he really started to light things up. But Kareem Hunt was absolutely fantastic his rookie year and was honestly having a great sophomore year until what happened and he ended up getting let go from the team. What about Tyreek? I can't remember his rookie year. So Tyreek, he actually had a pretty good rookie year, but he was used pretty heavily in the return game. I would have to look up his stats, but he had kick return yards, punt return yards, some receiving yards, some rushing yards. His rookie year was decent, for sure, especially if you factor in special teams, but just from somebody like Kareem Hunt just came in and just, I mean, he was just fantastic, almost from the get-go. Madden curse is a real thing unless you're Mahomes. Yeah, I mean, Saquon got the cover of Madden, and I thought it was well-deserved, to be honest with you. I don't know that there was a player that made more sense, but also a play that made more sense. Now, of course, they recaptured that photo for Madden. So this photo was done in a studio. They put him on a wire and redid the shot for a different angle. Probably wise to put his arm over his crotch. You're not getting a big crotch shot on the cover, but yeah, I thought it was well-deserved, man. I mean, Saquon, I always liked Saquon, even when he was with the Giants. Thought he was a great talent, but then obviously when you put him on a team that's very competent, he was really, that's just where he shined. And I thought he was fantastic all last year, way before playoffs or anything like that. Well-deserved. How'd you feel as the cowboy going for that photo shoot? Just the other guy that's getting jumped over. It's interesting on this. I think it was against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but they removed the logo. They removed the logo here. If you see, that's just an all-black helmet. Crazy. How's Bashard Smith doing? I mean, per reports, he's doing okay. I think he's moving around well, looking quick. It's kind of really hard for the running back room, like, to get a gauge on that until training camp when the pads come on. You know, it's mostly the receivers that you're gonna have reports of having more of a standout day. That's why Jalen Royals was kind of in there. I think Elijah Badger was looking nice per some guys. Some people are high on Jake Brenningstool, the tight end out of Clemson. But it's a passing happy camp right now, or passing happy practices that favors the pass catchers, because there's no pads. No pads. And you can't touch the quarterback, no contact allowed at all. Somebody talking about Tyreek Hill rumor. I mean, I haven't seen any legit rumor of Tyreek Hill coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs or anything like that. Now, do I think Tyreek Hill could come back to the Chiefs? I think he does. But I think it might just be potentially on a one-day contract to retire a Kansas City Chief. Could he come back after his contract with the Dolphins on like a 1 year kind of a thing? Maybe. I'm not worried about that at this point in time, but you can't rule it out completely. As a Chiefs fan, I'd still be okay having that Barkley poster on my wall. I'm not doing all that, okay? But you have to give credit where credit is due, and I always thought Saquon Barkley was freaking awesome, man. Frankly, every single elite running back that played for the Chiefs last year had a very poor showing. Every single elite running back. Well, Pacheco got injured, never looked right. And then, yeah, Kareem Hunt. I mean, I wouldn't call any of those guys elite, to be honest with you. And that's no disrespect. I think Pacheco is a great running back, especially considering he's a 7th-round guy. Kind of lacks the vision. And when he doesn't have that speed, he's got elite speed. When he doesn't have that, that's where he struggles. And he came back from injury and just didn't quite have that. Now, Kareem Hunt had great vision, just didn't have really any burst at all because he didn't have training camp. He didn't have preseason. He just was thrown into the fire and was playing catch-up all season long. I'm trying to think Carson Steele was the other guy, and then Pirine. I think the running back room was okay last year, but it was hampered by Pacheco going down so early due to injury. Hannah with the 10 bomb. Let's go. If we give up high draft picks for a Tyreek return, I will slap myself and tattoo Bout Time's favorite whiskey on my forehead. Say no, Veach. Bring back Snead, but no drama. Sperm donor Tyreek. Yeah, I don't think Tyreek's coming back. No. You're not trading for him, that's for sure. I don't even think you trade for Snead. I would be very concerned about that knee. Obviously, it was the quad or the hamstring last year, but it was the same leg as the knee. The same leg as the knee that's been bothering him for years. And per the Titans so far this offseason, they said Snead's knee is something you're basically always going to have to manage, which is unfortunate. Brenda, what's up? How are you? We wish you could like y'all's comments in the live. Yeah, I don't think you can, unless it's a super chat. Ooh, James said, could Rashee Rice be a top 5 wide receiver? I mean, the simple answer is yes, because he was shaping up to be in the running. Statistically, a top 5 receiver. Again, it was a small sample size through 3 weeks of the season. Now with the suspension looming, and we just don't know how he comes back from the knee, even though per all reports he's looking good out there and has no limitations. It's still padless practices, right? He definitely could, but I'm not going to, with the suspension and all that, I'm just going to say hopefully he's as effective as he can be this year, and I think he will be. And there's also a chance he won't be suspended at all this year. If that's the case, yeah, very well could be one of the top receivers in the league, especially as Mahomes is going to look his way probably a little bit more often and try not to lean so heavily on Travis Kelce. Again, Mahomes is not going to be able to help himself at times, and Kelce is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game for a reason. He's going to be open. Mahomes is going to look for him on third down, red zone. It's just going to happen. Will he look for him a little too much? I mean, maybe. But the reality is this might be Kelce's last ride. So Mahomes is going to be looking for him. Do you see Hollywood Brown having a standout year? The receiving room is very interesting because I just don't know what to fully expect, because you've got Rice, who should have a really good year. You have Worthy, who had a fantastic second half of his rookie year. Those are probably your top 2. And then Hollywood is going to be in the mix for sure. But when you say a standout year, a standout year for me, for Hollywood Brown, I don't know, 600-700 yards, but he's probably your 3rd or 4th target in theory after Rice, Worthy, Kelce. What do you guys think? Let me know. So when did Willie Gay become a Miami Dolphin? Yeah, he signed with them this offseason. He was only with the Saints for a year and was interested in coming back to the Kansas City Chiefs, but didn't seem like the interest was mutual, or they just couldn't make things work contractually or whatever. I mean, the linebacker room is interesting for the Chiefs because you have Bolton on that 3-year deal. You've got Tranquil. You have Chanel. You've got Cochran. You drafted Jeffrey Bossa. I mean, I feel like the linebacker room's in a pretty good place. But yeah, he's with the Dolphins with Tyreek. Hollywood is our man-to-man separator. Yes. I think there's a couple guys that you're going to see shine a little bit more in man coverage. I honestly thought you would see that a little bit more with Hollywood upon his return, but I just feel like he was still trying to get into the rhythm and into the flow of the offense, and I don't even know if Andy Reid had him fully into the game plan like they wanted to. He came back so late in the season. And you know what else threw that off, to be honest with you, is just the left tackle issue and having to resort to the quick passing game. I mean, when Joe Thuney was left tackle, sure, it worked. But Mahomes was having his quickest time to throw, quickest release time, like in those games. They were having to throw super fast, first read, over and over again. How much freedom does 15 have? Can he decide a play or just do what the coach calls? Well, I think Mahomes really trusts the system. That's why he's always doing this. He wants the call. So he'll be in the huddle. He'll be doing this. I can't even do it. How he does it. How does he do it? Do this? Something like this. It just goes like this. He wants the play call in his ear because he wants to relay it to the offense. He wants to get to the line of scrimmage. He then wants to see the defense and start to diagnose it pre-snap. From there, Mahomes can audible out of that, and he can identify some stuff and even like audible to certain receivers for hot routes. Kind of think of Madden, but it's probably not exactly that simple. But if he sees a certain blitz or something happen pre-snap, he can alert. And also just the receivers, the pass catchers should know based on the play call, if the coverage goes a certain way. Like that's, if you remember Rice's, I think it was Rice's rookie year. It was like one of the longest, I think it was the longest reception by any Chiefs pass catcher all that year. It was just like a down the right sideline, maybe against the Chargers. He was supposed to run like a hitch or just something like 7 yards and turn around or go out. But he saw based on the coverage, the safety crept down. He's on the right side. Corner had inside leverage. And so he just knew if he just took off down the field, there's nobody there. Well, Mahomes saw it, hoped that Rice saw it, and then he threw it to him and Rice almost scored a touchdown. That's just stuff that happens on the fly in real time. To go back to your question, how much authority does Mahomes have? I mean, I don't know. I think for the most part, he just trusts the system and the play call and will just help execute it to the best of his ability and try to do it at the highest level possible. Now, we saw BTS in the Super Bowl, Mahomes going up to Bieniemy saying, do we have time to run WASP? I mean, there's times he's got plays. If they call a timeout or they're on the sideline, you're studying the tablets, you're looking at the coverage, you're making adjustments. I mean, Mahomes has say and he has input, but he also really respects and trusts Andy Reid. I mean, obviously, if they were going to run more no huddle, he would just have basically complete control. And when they do that, so that's like their 2-minute offense, they're rushing to the line and Mahomes is doing hammer, chisel, blah, blah, blah. Like Mahomes is calling that, he's running that offense there. Because you don't have time. You don't have time to listen for a play call. Did you see that Travis Hunter INT? I did. I could maybe try to pull that up because that was awesome. If it was a catch, I didn't study it like enough. Let me do this one. Yeah, Travis Hunter in this one he's a DB turned receiver. Pops that ball up into the air. Boom. Okay, let's see if this is a catch for sure. Uh-oh. I'm not sure that would stand up upon review, but maybe he got his hand under him there. See that? Kind of hard to tell. Either way, it was a fantastic attempt and near catch or potential catch by Travis Hunter, and that's just OTAs, and he's already standing out making plays like that. Yeah, incomplete. It didn't look like it. That's why I saw it in real time. I was like, I'm not sure that was a catch. But either way, it was a great effort. Cameron said, bro, it's OTAs. Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Like, it's just OTAs. But he's already he's standing out, and that was a definite standout play. All you have right now is OTAs. So you gotta hype the guys up. But yeah, it's padless practices at the end of the day. We all know that. Yep, Travis is a dog for sure. 1,000%. Thoughts on the run game, including the O-line? The run game of the Chiefs? That's a great question. I just saw this tweet earlier. Look at this. Look at this. This is kind of nasty, dude. Chiefs running backs had 5.8% of their designed yardage produced on 15-plus yard carries. So only 5.8% of their designed runs, their designed yards go for over 15 yards. Third lowest by any team since 2006. KC ranked top 10 in success rate, and Mahomes exists, but still a lot of stress on your drop back game heading into his age 30 season. Look at the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs. Now, we kind of know why some of this existed. Pacheco, gone. Kareem Hunt, off the couch, no burst. Pacheco comes back, no burst in that ankle. But yeah, I mean, you've got to do better than that. That's kind of why, guys, I was hoping that they would get a running back early. Bashard Smith, I'm excited about him, 7th round pick, but I was kind of hoping for a running back in the 2nd or the 3rd round. Get a guy in there that just is a problem for opposing defenses. I mean, Pacheco should have a better year. Kareem Hunt will have a full offseason under his belt. We'll see about Elijah Mitchell. He had a good rookie year. It's been a couple years since then, and he didn't play at all last year because of the hamstring injury. But yeah, the O-line obviously plays a factor in that as well. But you have Creed. You have Trey. Now we'll see about the left guard spot because you used to have Tooney there. You used to have that interior trio that was solid. Hopefully Kingsley lives up to expectation there, even though I don't have like super high expectation on him for the left guard spot. But what's crazier even to me about this on the Chiefs run game is they were seeing a lot of too high looks, a lot of light boxes, and still couldn't take advantage of it. There was no fear of the Chiefs run game last year, like at all. No fear of anything explosive either down the field. So yeah, hopefully some of that changes. Got to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I do have a little bit of concerns about the running back room this year. Flip with the back-to-back 5 bombs. Thank you, man. Hope everyone's safe today. No flood, no tornadoes, Cole. Yay or nay on Trey Smith sitting out until he's signed. Thoughts and opinions. Yeah, I shared earlier I wouldn't even be surprised if there was anybody holding out during the rest of OTAs or just not showing up and then not practicing at mandatory camp. Trey Smith would be the one that I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. You're negotiating a long-term deal. You want to get something done. I wouldn't care. Now, if he's holding out a lot, like during training camp, that's where it's going to be weird. And it's going to be a big question mark because you only have till mid-July to negotiate a long-term deal or play on the tag. He's already signed the tag. So if you don't get a deal done by mid-July, I fully anticipate he shows up to training camp. And that's really what matters the most to me. He's in the system. He's been here. He knows what to do. I'm not worried at all if he doesn't show up to OTAs or mandatory minicamp mid-June. Now, we will see what ends up happening. But I wouldn't be too worried about it, personally. What about you guys? What do you think? Can you imagine if we move up on that graph? Yeah, I hope so, Stanley. I mean, it's only up from here. I mean, Drake said you started from the bottom. And then he said, now we here. But I don't expect the Chiefs to be there. You don't have to be the Ravens or the Eagles. Just move up a little bit. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be too much. Flip with the 5, McDuffie versus Rashee Rice. Who will win that out of 5 during OTAs? I will say the cornerbacks are at a disadvantage in the non-padded practices. And not a lot of contact is allowed. And what that also means is quarterbacks often have time to sit back in the pocket, go through their reads. They're not stressed about getting sacked or anything like that. I would say Rice probably wins that 3 out of 5. Only because it is to the receiver's advantage during OTAs. Now, with that being said, will McDuffie and Rashee Rice going up against each other be a great battle and kind of an iron sharpens iron thing? 1,000%. Thanks for the back-to-back 5s, Flip, and a third 5 that just came in. Hannah with the 2. Pacheco at his rookie weight is a good omen. Yeah, so Pacheco has beefed up a little bit. Kareem Hunt has slimmed down a little bit. I think I like both of those things happening because for Kareem, you don't want to lose too much, but you do want a little bit more quickness back, a little bit more pep in your step, and a little lighter would help with that. Pacheco, he's fine with that weight. He lost weight last year, but I don't know that he needed to. So I kind of like the idea of him being a little bit more stockier He's still got that speed and that burst. Just got to work on that vision a little bit. When will the roster be out for this year? Well, the 53-man roster and cutdowns is after the 3rd preseason game. So that's like end of August, somewhere around there. Flip with another 5. Karlaftis, Chris Jones versus Simmons and Moore. Who will win more often than not? Karlaftis and Chris Jones is who I would say. That'll be a good challenge for them, though. For sure. Jennifer with the 505 as well. Let's go. Yeah, Chris Jones is just different. 1,000%. Rashee Rice has infinite amount of time to do whatever route possible. Yeah, during OTAs. Is Mahomes always going to have rookies and 1-year mercs as wide receivers? Well, I don't know. I mean, Rice is great. Worthy, I'm excited about. But yeah, Hollywood on a 1-year. Juju on a 1-year. Sky on the last year of his deal. He's probably not making the roster. I think you could get away with that just a little bit more when you have somebody like Travis Kelce on the roster. But when he's done, if he retires after this year, that's a $20 million cap hit. You probably need to invest a little bit more in the wide receiver room. I think it would just be a good idea. So hopefully the answer to that question, Julia, is no, not always. But I'm also an advocate of always drafting a wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes every single year. If you can. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Jalen Royals was a 4th-round guy. Super excited about him. But yeah, I'm of the opinion you should always do that for sure in the draft. But then when Travis Kelce steps away, I mean, that was your wide receiver 1 from a production standpoint for years. I know he's not a wide receiver. I'm not saying that he is. But when you compare the stats of Travis Kelce to most wide receivers in the NFL since 2018, he's up there with all of them. Devontae, I mean, pick anybody, and he's up there in the top 5 somewhere in most of these stats. You're not going to be able to get away with that wide receiver 1 type production for half the cost on a tight end contract once Travis Kelce is gone. You're just not going to. I mean, unless you somehow get Brock Bowers, which is not happening. But yeah, I think you're going to have to invest more in the wide receiver room in the future. What are your thoughts on Carson Steele? What's up, Irish? So right now, I don't have Carson Steele making the roster unless Andy Reid is just like, I want a fullback. That's my fullback. Figure out the running back room, but Carson Steele is staying. The reason why I say that, I'm rooting for Steele, and I think he could have a better year this year than last year. He came in as a UDFA and was one of the few UDFAs to make the roster, had some fumble issues. But if you're looking for your short yardage guy, that's Kareem Hunt. He could do that. So again, unless Andy Reid's like, no, I want the fullback. I demand the fullback. And they're like, yeah, we're going to use him heavily on special teams where Kareem Hunt's not going to do that. I don't know that Steele makes the roster, but he might actually be safe to clear waivers and make it to the practice squad. We'll see. I would be curious to know your guys' thoughts about Carson Steele. Let me know. Kelce was underpaid his entire career. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I just said, hey, he's outproduced his paycheck every single year. His cap hits $20 million this year. It's quite a bit, but I think he deserves it. You do have some people that disagree with that and think he should not be taking that much money and he should have agreed to a pay cut. But I'm like, nah. He's one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. Let the guy have $20 million his last year. It's fine. What's up, Emperor? Do you think Nick Bolton can be a top 5 linebacker if he works on his speed? Top 5 linebacker in the NFL? Probably not. But can elements of his game be top 5-ish? Yeah, like his vision, his instincts, his ability to stop the run. Like that, he's one of the better linebackers in the NFL. I would say top 5, top 10 at that. He's never going to be like your top 5 overall, all-around linebackers just because that speed, which you said if he worked on his speed. I think he's shown you about where he can be with his speed. And his limitations are in coverage, but he's super cerebral, high IQ. Spags loves him. He's the brain of the defense, brings a lot of value. great instincts, awesome against the run. Average-ish in coverage, and you're just going to have to deal with that. But that's why you've got, in theory, like Drew Tranquil, Jeffrey Bassa. You've got these coverage linebackers. You move McDuffie back to the slot. Yeah, it's interesting. Nick Bolton is divisive within Chiefs Kingdom because some love him, some hate him. I'm kind of, I don't know. I like him. I think he has his definite strengths, but he has his limitations. When they paid him that money, it made sense. If you looked at the free agent market, a lot of the a lot of the linebackers that were set to hit free agency, they got re-signed by their own teams. The Chiefs' best bet for sure, based on the options that were there, was to re-sign Nick Bolton. And you can get out, I think, after 2 years. Yeah, the linebacker room's solid. Yeah, I don't know that Bolton's top 10. I think he's got a top 5 to top 10 instinct against the run. Outside of that, I don't really know. But you have to account for his weakness and kind of build around that. That's it. It's not a problem. What is keeping Omar Norman-Lott from signing? I mean, I don't know, but it's just probably has something to do with I think there's 2 or 3 second rounders that got fully guaranteed contracts for the first time in NFL history. That's never happened before. That's part of the holdup for sure. I thought he would be the last Chiefs rookie to sign, and he is the last guy so far, and he hasn't signed yet. All right. Jennifer, thank you for the 505. Darrell with the 2. Thank you, Darrell. Do you think we see Pacheco doing any receiving? Yeah, I think so. That's a good question. Is Pacheco your third down back? I don't know. He's gotten better in pass pro. Was never like elite at pass protection. But yeah, his speed allows him to catch passes out of the backfield for sure. So yeah, I think so. I think Bashard Smith would probably be the go-to on some of the plays where the running backs are going to be doing some sort of route running, just because Bashard Smith was a converted receiver turned running back. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to set my hopes up super high for Bashard Smith his rookie year either. Like, I'm rooting for Pacheco. I just think you're further removed from the ankle injury, and he should look a little bit better, more his normal self. You gain a little bit of weight as well coming into the season healthy. I'm excited for him. Hannah with the 5. We also need to put some blame on a running back game/stats on Andy Reid. As soon as it gets tight in a game, he abandons the run. That needs to change. Yeah, that's definitely some of it too. I mean, the Chiefs run less than basically anybody else in the NFL. If you look at a pass play percentage compared to the run play percentage, at the beginning of the year last year, they were actually higher up, closer to top 15, top 17. By the end of the season, they were back down in the bottom 5. They don't like to run. And to an extent, like, I get it. You have one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game in NFL history on your team. And Andy Reid just loves to throw the ball. So you got that. You got Mahomes. You got Kelsey. I mean, why wouldn't you? I get it. But he is quick to abandon the run sometimes, and he's admitted that. But there are also just times it just wasn't working. And sure, maybe you shouldn't give up on it, but you've got to try to move and do what's working. Now, the Chiefs do several things as an extension of the run game. Bubble screens, jet sweeps, a lot of these quick passes, the RPOs where Mahomes throwing quick slants. That's all extensions of the run game. I know it doesn't show up as like a run stat, but that is how Andy Reid kind of counters an extension of his run, of the run game, if it's not working as well. Flip with another 5 bomb. Let's go. It's the last play to win the game. You are Mahomes. Both of your wide receivers deep end zone are on man coverage. Who do you pass it to, Rice or Worthy? Okay, you say deep end zone. I'm going Worthy. I'm going to go Worthy. I feel like he's earned your trust as a pretty elite ball tracker and that speed. If Mahomes puts the right just amount of arc on that ball, that's worthy. That's worthy all day. That's that second half of the Super Bowl catch. That's worthy. Now, could Rice do it too? Sure. But I'm probably going to, if I had to pick one, I'm going worthy. Do you guys agree? Who disagrees? You should make a Royals channel. Man, I cannot keep up with another sport. I can't. But there are some Royals channels out there. I think KCSN has a Royals podcast. But I would not be great. I would have to study. It's just, there's too much to it. It's not that I couldn't, but I just put too much time into the other channels. Hooker Boots with a 5 gifted. Let's go. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Let's go. Royals or Buns? I don't even know how they're doing, to be honest with you. I really don't know. But yeah, covering multiple sports, I don't know how people do it. Like Nick Wright and those guys, I mean, they're also not editing and in the weeds as much as I am, and they've been doing it longer. It's like me, I'm still scripting stuff. I'm still editing thumbnails. If I had time to just study for a couple hours a day, like I think I could talk a bit more confidently about another sport, but I spend it on Cole breaks the huddle. How about those Chiefs? That's really it. YouTube kicked you out of chat? I have no idea, Dakota, but what's up, dude? Hey, Cole, long time no see. What's up, Pavry? It's summer break now. Heck yeah, let's go. Worthy just needs to stay in bounds on deep sideline catches. Oh, for sure. It's got to work on that spatial awareness a little bit. And then Mahomes at times just needs to throw it a little bit more accurately. It was Mahomes sometimes last year. It was Worthy other times. And then there was even just times where, sure, maybe Mahomes was like a little bit off on that deep ball, but you should be able to reel it in and stay in bounds. And that's just something Worthy will be working on. Too many games in a season, it would kill Cole. Yeah, there's a lot of baseball games. A lot of baseball games. Everyone wants to give Cole more work. No, it's all good. It's all good. We are in a spot now where thankfully I see my family more, but it was rough there for a little while. We have 2 editors now, which helps. But there were times I was working till like midnight, just trying to, because I used to film the video, then edit the video myself. I would have dinner with the fam and then go finish the edit, then work on the title, the thumbnail. A lot of you guys were around when we dropped a video at like 1 in the morning. We dropped a video at like 1 in the morning. If we had to pay a Barkley contract for a running back, we would be hurting trying to pay McDuffie or Karlaftis. Yeah, that's not really the way of the Chiefs. They're not a run-first team. They're just not. You just kind of hope to land a rookie that can contribute pretty successfully, and then 1-year contracts for everybody else, basically. I mean, Kareem Hunt would have been the guy for years. Maybe he might have still, like, he's still on the Chiefs now, right? But he just, if the off the field stuff didn't happen, he didn't lie, all that stuff, didn't get let go, like, he could have just been a multiple contract guy with the Chiefs, potentially. But you'll never know. You'll never know. Love to see you. Oh, Wesley, what's up, dude? Love to see you working. Thanks, man. Hope you're doing awesome. Let's go. Good thing you got those comfy beds. Heck yeah. Thank you, Bear Mattress. Whole family's got them now. Hooker Boots, thanks again for the 5 gifted. Code name with the 9 months. Cole, you should invite Nick Wright to your show. Think he would do it? So I hit up Carrington Harrison of 610 Sports. He's been on the channel a bunch of times. I said, hey, how hard would it be to get Nick Wright on this show, on a YouTube interview? And he said his response was impossible. I could definitely try, but I do not think he would come on here. Nick Wright's like big time. He's doing interviews with all the big guys. Could certainly try. Trade pop, get what you can, start steal. As like your workhorse guy, maybe. But I don't know what value you're going to get for Pacheco coming off the injury. I think he has more value staying around for this year, personally. Especially if like injuries hit that room. You need that room to be a little deep. How's the third positive news story channel doing? How are you having time to do that too? It'd be great to see that succeed. Nefarious, thanks so much for the 19 months. Well, that's just one video a week. And if I don't have time to do it that week, I won't. not going to sacrifice any of the content on this channel or Cole Breaks a Huddle, but the off season is the best time to do that. And then during the season, I'm probably going to outsource the editing and the thumbnails to contractors. So all I'll have to do is the scripting for a couple hours a week, and that's probably about it. So right now it's pretty manageable, just one video a week. It's going well so far. We should drop another one this Friday. I'm going to start scripting that on Thursday, but yeah, just 1 week at a time, and I'm not going to force it at the sacrifice or to sacrifice or at the expense of one of these channels for sure. Wiley this year, I am not super high on Jared Wiley this year, only because I don't know what to expect from him coming off of the ACL tear. Most guys who come off of the ACL that next year they're just not quite the same, and they need another year. Look at most recently on the Chiefs, Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu came back late in the season and just didn't look himself. He probably will look more himself this year. So that's kind of like where I'm at with Wiley tearing his ACL in November. Now, could he defy the odds a little bit? He also tore his ACL 2.5 months prior, or earlier rather, than Omenihu did when he tore his in the AFC Championship game. Wiley tore his beginning of November in practice. I don't have a lot of expectations for him. It's not because I don't believe in him. It's just because I don't know how he's going to look coming off the injury this year. Hopefully, he bounces back and plays a contributing role this year, but we'll just see. Yeah, Omenihu agreed. He didn't look quite himself. Factual. Cameron, Cole, since it's summer, can you stream twice a week? Probably not, man. Part of the reason is I love the once a week on Tuesdays, and then Friday, we've got a long form video for the Chiefs channel, this channel, and then we have a long form video for Cole Breaks the Huddle, and it's too often, it's 7 o'clock, 7:30, and we're still working on getting those videos out. And then honestly, I've just been enjoying spending more evenings with the family because I work a lot of hours during the week, and then several evenings as well. So I think for now, we're just going to do one a week, but then when the season picks up, obviously we'll do the game streams as well. Ooh, what about the start of Kelsey's career? So yeah, Kelsey missed his full... Now, the difference with Kelsey, he missed his rookie year with a knee injury, but he hurt it before the season. So he hurt it 4 or 5 months before Wiley did and had that much more time to recover. Omenihu worked hard to get back, so wanted him to get a ring last year. I know. Same. You would trade Jawan Taylor before you trade Pop. I mean, I don't think either of those guys are getting traded because Jawan Taylor's contract is... You can't really trade him this year. You can get out from his contract next year. Yeah, Island Hacker has a good counter here. Omenihu... Yeah, I mean, I did mention this. Omenihu tore his late January. Wiley tore his early November. So there's 2.5-ish months of a difference there for sure. But then he also says Wiley is younger as well. So he'll look better than 90 did when he comes back. I mean, that would be awesome. The only thing is, I don't even know what he really did his rookie year. So I just don't know what to expect from him this year because you have Kelsey, you have Noah Gray. I just don't know what to expect, but I'll definitely root for the guy for sure. At least Omenihu got a ring 2 years ago. Yeah, he got the ring when he was injured. Tore his ACL in the AFC Championship, and then the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Okay, Leroy said, which is a greater chance of happening? Chiefs run the tush push with Mahomes or Chris Jones gets a pick 6? I think I'm going to go with Chris Jones getting a pick 6 because he's done it before. It's been a long time. Hasn't he done it before? Yeah, he has 1 pick 6 in his career. Chris Jones back in 2018 got a pick 6 off Blake Bortles. If I had to pick, I'm probably going with that because it's actually happened before. Obviously, you could then say, well, Mahomes has done a QB sneak before. Yeah, but when has he ran a QB sneak since hurting his knee? Yeah, exactly. He hasn't. Nefarious with the 19 months. Oh, I already read that. Let's go, dude. Appreciate you. Yeah. Well, why can't we run a tush-push play with QB2? Well, in theory, you can. They tried it with Noah Gray as well, tight end 2. I thought they would maybe do it with Carson Wentz last year because Carson Wentz had like 80-something% of his QB sneaks, maybe 80. We'll just say 80, conservative estimate. 80% of his QB sneaks in his career were successful. So, hey, many were speculating when you signed Carson Wentz, hey, he could run a QB sneak. They did not do it one time. I don't think it's in the playbook. I don't think they practice it ever. I don't think it can be audibled to. I just don't think it's in the playbook. It's not there. Even if Mahomes got in the huddle and said, let's run a QB sneak, they don't practice it ever. It would be like, dude, what? We don't even know what to do. You got to practice that thing. So I just don't think it's in the playbook. I don't think it's an option. Is that good? I don't know. Probably. There's probably times on 3rd and 1 a QB sneak would just get it done. But at the sake of Mahomes jacking up his knee again, I don't know if Andy Reid will ever do it again. I didn't realize Carson Wentz was such a D-bag. His old teammates really disliked him. I mean, there were times where I think he had a little bit of a complex, but I think he's spoke on that before and said he didn't always handle things the right way. I think he's chilled out. Yeah, I think he's learned from that. Now, was I in the locker room? No. But from what I could tell. Prodigy, what's up, dude? What do you think the Chiefs would offer Mahomes after his contract is up? Well, he'll definitely, after this season, maybe the season after that, he'll get another extension. And it's just probably going to be near the top of the market at that time. But at the same time, he's going to be 32 years old. Still one of the best in the game, if not the best in the game at that point. Dak Prescott right now is making $60 million a year. Mahomes will probably get something around that. I mean, and none of us would bat an eyelash. Oh, okay. Yeah. Mahomes is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Would we really bat an eyelash? No, we would not. Now, that being said, his contract's been awesome, and he's actually paid more money based on the 3-year income he's getting based on the recent pay bump he got. If you look at the longevity of his contract, he's out of the top 10, like top 12 highest paid QBs. But if you look at the 3-year, he's right there near the top 5, and he'll get his contract reworked. They'll offer him all our firstborns and immortal souls. Holy smokes. He had a lot of time to sit down and think about it the past couple of seasons. Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Talking about Carson Wentz. Which comes first, 15's contract extension or the Summer Olympics? Well, the Summer Olympics is 2028. I am definitely going Mahomes' contract extension gets done at the latest after the 2026 NFL season. So that would be like 2027 offseason that year. For sure, Mahomes before the Olympics. Who told me Royals won't line up at running back? It's definitely McKinnon cover-up. Jaylen Royals? I don't think he'll really line up too much at running back. Maybe Bashard Smith, the converted receiver. But hey, Andy Reid likes to line people up kind of all over the place. I mean, we saw Kadarius Toney do it. We've seen several receivers line up in the backfield. Random call out, but Cole's 100% a twin of one of the DJs in Tinlicker. I don't know what that is. All right, we're going to find him. Oh, that's it. Yo, who's this man? This is my doppelganger right here. I hope I said that right. Look at this guy. This is me in 10 years. There you go. You know how often I get somebody messaging me, hey, were you driving down the street over here by Ward Parkway Mall? Ward Parkway Center or whatever it is? I saw a bald guy with a red beard. I thought it was you. No, it was not me. It was not me. But let's go, dude. Heck yeah. Did you see the alternative Madden 2026 covers going around on social? Not really. Let me see if I can just find it. I saw one with Stephon Diggs. Oh, here we go. We can react to them together. NFL and CBS. Once again, none of our submissions were selected as the official Madden cover. Here's a thread of some of our alternative ideas. There you go. Famous Jameis. That's one of his speeches. I like that one. This one is really good. I don't remember his name, but that's the Bears player that taunted the crowd at the end of that game, and Jaden Daniels ended up completing that Hail Mary to win the game. And he was the guy that blew the coverage, I'm pretty sure. He was supposed to stay back here and trail and stay with the guy who went, I mean, it was further over, but who was in the back of the end zone, and he pushed up. So the ball gets tipped into the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Commanders win. That's freaking hilarious. That's a fire one. I mean, that's a good one. Now, should Saquon have got it over that? Yes, but that's a pretty good one. This is the guy, I think, isn't this the guy that got flagged so many times for jumping over trying to guess the snap count of the tush push? They said, if you do that again, we're going to award the Eagles a touchdown. I think it was. Will Levis, I mean, he definitely had the memes last year. Highest of highs and the lowest of lows with that guy. He's the white Jameis Winston. Dude, you got to give him an E for effort. I mean, if the coaches watch back the film on this one, they said, hey, man, at least you tried. I mean, you laid it all out on the line. At least you tried. Yeah, dude. A.J. Brown reading that book. That's a pretty good one. I like that a lot. I don't remember what... Okay. I was about to say, I don't remember what game that was. That was obviously the Lions and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. I don't really remember the duck. I don't remember the context of this one either. But I love it. Derrick Henry. Dude, why does that... I don't even know if that's edited or not. I could believe it just that being real. That guy's crazy. Yes, George Pickens. What's this one? Bills Mafia. There's got to be some story behind that I don't know because I don't really understand that one. Dude, CMC for Halloween? No. That's a good one. Oh, shoot. Yes, dude. Bill Belichick on the beach. I'm actually afraid to keep going down the comments because I don't know what's going to pop up. This one's a good one. This is Jameson Williams violently hip thrusting in the end zone. That's a good one. Yeah, those are most of them. They're pretty good though. Belichick wins. Belichick, that is a really good one. I mean, obviously they would never do it, but this one is fantastic. Oh man, that's so good. No Will Levis face is disappointing. Well, he was in there. I don't know if you were looking for a certain, because he was here and crying here, but I'm not sure which Will Levis face you're talking about in particular. The duck should be on the cover of the next UFC game. John Jones. Oh, he ducking. Your husband took up knitting just so he could drive his opponents nuts while he sat there calmly and knitted one and purled two. Song? Am I missing context? What is happening? Missing the mayonnaise? True. I got a funny one. Somebody should do one of Justin Tucker with Kelsey and Mahomes throwing his cleats. That was from 2 seasons ago, but that would have been a good one. That was the playoffs 2 seasons ago. Hobby horsing? Oh, God bless. Ooh, the blocked field goal in the Chiefs and Broncos game would have been a good one. Yep. Belichick became my hero in the offseason. That guy's crazy, man. That guy is crazy. Ducky Irving? Oh, see, everybody knows what's going on with that. I didn't know that one at all. Ducky Irving? That's hilarious. Oh, Ducky Irving. That's such a good play on Bucky. I didn't know that's what they were calling him, though. That's hilarious. Those are knitting stitches, talking about Brown reading. My husband did something similar, added benefit that knitting frustrates the hell out of him, so he got in the mood to fight. Okay, that makes more sense now. The Worthy Bomb versus the Chargers was a good one, too. Heck yeah. The failed Bills 4th and inches from the playoffs. That should be on the list. Aiden O'Connell taking the snap to the side of his head to lose to the Chiefs. Another fantastic one that only the Raiders could lose in the way and the manner that they did. Celebration fines this year are going to get out of hand. Oh, they're going to be insane, dude. You can't do anything. You might as well just score a touchdown and just run back to your seat. Don't do anything. Just go back to your seat and call it a day. Have we covered the latest on the stadium? I heard the Missouri Senate was working on a bill. We have not, Brian, just because it's hard to really know where this is going to end up. But yeah, by a 6-3 vote, the Missouri Senate Committee on Fiscal Review passed a bill authorizing state incentives to retain the Chiefs and Royals. The bill could go to the Senate floor as soon as tomorrow. The House is expected to return as part of the special session on Monday. So Missouri is trying to do what they can to combat what Kansas is offering via star bonds. Will this pass all the way through? I don't know. We'll see. I might talk about it in tomorrow's video, but I haven't talked about it in tonight's live stream. We talked about a tornado touching down near Arrowhead, but that was about it. Pretty crazy. Celebration fines are going to be absolutely insane. The NFL will do anything to make money. Oh, yeah. They love their money. They love their money. The NFL will do whatever it takes. You already know. Bills wide right snapshot, even though it was 23 on Madden 26. Sounds good to me. Poll. Belichick marriage lasts A, less than a year, B, fewer than 365 days. Definitely B. Problem is, we all have an emotional attachment to Arrowhead Stadium. No one wants to move. Yeah, and I talked about it in a recent post. I could kind of read my thoughts because I understand why. Clark Hunt, he wants a dome. That was a report from Nate Taylor last week. Let's see if I can find it. Here, this was my response. Maybe I'll talk about it in tomorrow's video, but there's OTAs tomorrow, and there's a lot to discuss in that one too. But here's why he wants a dome. You can't host a Super Bowl without one. So I get it. Or just big events in general. You're not affected by the seasons. Yeah, I said here, it could also host a lot of other events in the winter, and storms in the spring would no longer matter. I then said from a business perspective, it makes sense. It will make whoever, Clark Hunt, the city or county, etc., more money. I just think the idea of losing iconic Arrowhead Stadium sucks. The crowd noise that overwhelmed opponents won't be the same based on how that stadium was built. And then, yes, some people were pointing out in the comments, hey, the new stadium, or maybe even at Arrowhead, could have a retractable roof. I just think the odds of a retractable roof at Arrowhead are pretty slim. And it also removes part of the joy of football, playing in the elements. Now, that Dolphins game when it was negative 30, 40 degree wind chill was insane. But did it make for one of the most memorable football games in some time? Yes. No more snow games. No more games in the rain. Like, you just take all that out. If it's going to be bad weather, the retractable dome closes. That's it. Now, yeah, the flip side to that is it's good for business. But a lot of fans, obviously, maybe unhealthily, are attached to Arrowhead Stadium, one of the most iconic stadiums in the NFL. But that's also a positive, Denny. Said, yes, no more negative 20-degree games. And also on the flip side, no more 110-degree games with the heat index. So you would have a lot more temperature, the temperature is going to be a lot more regulated. Now, it's still going to be cold in the winter, warm in the summer, but it'll never be as drastic as it is. But you lose some of that too, the excitement of the elements. And yes, Arrowhead's a bit older. It's not as upgraded. Pros and cons for sure. If we want to keep our team here, let's pay. I'm not sure. Yeah, and there's a possibility that the Chiefs could still stay in Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and have a new stadium. They could go to the Legends area on the Kansas side of the border. I still think they're staying in KC area. You'll have people that argue, well, if they're in Kansas, it's not Kansas City. What are you talking about, dude? There's Kansas City, Kansas, and there's Kansas City, Missouri. Like, it's the Kansas City metropolitan area. I don't think they're going to leave that. Darrell with the 2. Does KC have enough hotels for a Super Bowl? No. I don't know about that. I think you would have to, if you're going to build a stadium that's going to be able to host a Super Bowl and some of the stuff like that, you're going to have to expand. For sure, which is some of the reason why they say, oh, the Legends, because there's still room to build there. And I get it. I used to live out there. It's really nice. Wouldn't that give the Bills an advantage? I think to some extent it'd give kind of whoever. What's up, pass me? It'd give kind of whoever an advantage to some extent at times. The crowd noise wouldn't be the same, and then they're not playing in the elements either, but no chance of Super Bowl coming to Kansas City. Well, definitely no chance without a dome stadium. But yes, typically they're going to want to go to a warm weather place. That's why it's in Florida, Arizona. You want the people that are going to enjoy their time outside of the stadium too. Nefarious with the 5. It would be crazy to see the Bears and Chiefs get their new stadiums the same year. And they wind up playing each other in each other's stadiums in Super Bowls. Would be pretty crazy. I mean, we'll see. The reality is the leases aren't up for the Royals and the Chiefs until 2030 or 2031. We will know more before then because it's going to take years to build a new stadium. It's going to take some time. You'll have some headway here by the end of the year for sure. K Wright in the house with the 5 bomb. Let's go. My brother and I are in year 3 of seeing every NFL team play. Winners this year heading to Tennessee week 2 for Rams at Titans. Year 3 of seeing every NFL team play. That's pretty freaking dope, dude. I love that idea. Would they change the turf whenever the dome gets rolled in? I mean, if it's a retractable dome, you could potentially still do grass. But yeah, it's a little bit out of my depth. What's up, Juan? Did you see that a tornado landed very close to the stadium? I did. Yeah, I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. It was very close to Arrowhead. Knocked over a bunch of porta potties. I don't think anybody got hurt or seriously hurt. At least I haven't seen any reports of it. But I did see that touchdown. Brenda said, is there a possibility that they could renovate Arrowhead and add a dome? I mean, I think so. I wouldn't rule it out. Renovating Arrowhead is still a possibility. But would they also be able to add the dome? I think it was in the initial plans, and it got shut down. I'm a little hazy on the history there, but I don't think it would be impossible. Just much more likely if you're going to add a dome, it would be at a new stadium altogether. Any update on Norman Lott's rookie contract? No, not yet. He just hasn't signed. There's no reports out there that are saying it's going to be delayed much longer. I think he probably signed sometime this month, hopefully before rookie minicamp, or mandatory minicamp, sorry. Rookie minicamp was last month, right after the draft. That's how you know it's getting late. That's how you know. Well, man, it's 9:45. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Thanks for all the dono bombs, the memberships, the questions, the mods holding it down. Always enjoy the Tuesday night Q&As. We'll be back with a video tomorrow. A lot of people are speaking to the media. Andy Reid and select Chiefs personnel. You're going to have media watching practice. There's going to be standouts. There's going to be stuff to talk about. Super excited about it. So we'll be back tomorrow with that. So until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those